Vanity of vanities, says the teacher. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. I, the teacher, when king over Israel and Jerusalem, applied my mind to seek and to search out by wisdom all that is done under the heavens. It is an unhappy business that God has given to human beings to be busy with. I saw all the deeds that are done under the sun, and see, all is vanity and a chasing after the wind. I hated all my toil in which I had toiled under the sun, seeing that I must leave it to those who come after me. And who knows whether they will be wise or foolish, yet they will be master of all, for which I toiled and used my wisdom under the sun. This also is vanity, so I turned and gave up my heart to despair concerning all the toil of my labors under the sun, because sometimes one who has toiled with wisdom and knowledge and skill must leave all to be enjoyed by another who did not toil for it. This also is vanity and a great evil. What do mortals get from all the toil and strain with which they must toil under the sun? For all their days are full of pain, and their work is a vexation. Even at night their minds do not rest. This also is vanity. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God. The Holy Gospel according to St. Luke, the 12th chapter. Someone in the crowd said to Jesus, "Teacher, tell my brother to divide the family inheritance with me." But Jesus said to him, "Friend, who sent me to be a judge or arbitrator over you?" And then Jesus said to him, "Take care. Be on your guard against all kinds of greed, for one's life does not consist of an abundance of possessions." And then he told them a parable. The land of a rich man produced abundantly, and he thought to himself, "What should I do? I have no place to store my crops." Then he said, "I will do this. I will pull down my barns and build larger ones, and there I will store my grain and my goods, and I will say to my soul, 'Soul, you have ample goods laid up for many years. Relax, eat, drink, and be merry.' But God said to him, 'You fool, this very night your life is being demanded of you. And the things you have prepared, whose will they be?' So Jesus said, 'It is with those who store up treasures for themselves, but are not rich toward God.'" The Gospel of the Lord. On December 12, 1996, then Federal Reserve Chairman Alan Greenspan gave a speech to the American Enterprise Institute in Washington, D.C. The speech itself, like so many that Greenspan gave, was almost incomprehensible, except for 2 words in a sentence that was almost prophetic. He asked, "But how do we know when irrational exuberance has unduly escalated market values?" It was a good question then, and it looks like an even better question now, because the answer is we don't, and we never know when the bubble will break. Contrast that to what Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke said just this week in testimony before Congress. On Tuesday, the Fed chairman told a congressional committee that the economy was unusually uncertain. Boy, that was an understatement. As Charles Krauthammer tried to explain, it looks like in a decade and a half we have gone from irrational exuberance to unusual uncertainty. And to translate from Federal Reserve ease, Krauthammer said, That was Bernanke saying, I don't have a clue what's happening in the markets. There was once a day when we thought we knew, when all real estate was a good investment, when all stocks went up, and we were all going to retire when we were 62. What were the words of the poet, the teacher? Vanity of vanities. All is vanity. I saw all the deeds that are done under the sun, and see, all is vanity and a chasing after wind. Clearly, the man who approaches Jesus in today's parable does not consider chasing after riches, chasing after wind. In fact, he knew exactly what to do. He knew that he was the wise brother and his other brother was the foolish one. This man cared little about familial relationships. All this man wanted after the death of his father was his dad's stuff. Dr. William H. Williman, the former dean at Duke's Chapel, said, you might think the guy would have come to Jesus asking, Master, how can I get over my grief at the death of my dear father? Williman went on to say, while there are parents whose legacy to their children is a good character, strong values, and a love of the Lord, apparently all this man left his sons was a pile of stuff and a week in court. And Jesus could care less. Jesus doesn't give a hoot about their squabble over the keys to the car. Got estate problems, Jesus says? Get a lawyer. I know an attorney, another fine Christian man whose practice is given over exclusively to estate work. And he tells me that he has seen this scene played out in his office on countless occasions. Families begin to quibble. And before you know it, what begins as a minor squabble turns into a full-blown battle with people choosing up sides over the smallest of things. There comes a point, my friend tells me, that I have to remind them that my meter is running and that the cost of the item that they are fighting over is going to be far less than my fees. And you know what he says with his eyebrows raised? They don't care. They just keep right on with the battle.